So everybody, it's Mon here. Welcome back to another one, my versus battles. Hope you guys enjoy this one. This is a very interesting one that kind of had a place of discussion with, so a little tad bit of debate with somebody about for the reasoning of who would be who in this case, within the case of this fight. It's between Doomfist, conflict and war, the brawling knob, native African beast, and the Nano, the bold world into a form of chaos to rebuild the people that are conquerors over the conquered. First, the Senator Armstrong, the big ass Buffy, steroid induced, nano machine son, crack of a fiend, the man that makes it might be the right. And the man wants to go and disperse all the bullshit of social media, the internet, and everything to inform the world of a war that will build a birth the most strong, even in the case of some of them not understand what they fight for. Sinister Armstrong himself. From Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, a comic villain that's very fucking bullshit on both accounts, my guy. My man keep chucking Rebel at me, can't even place the camera angle, most importantly keep bomb grabbing me each time this man gets out the fucking way each time, with Senator Armstrong being able to deck my man Sam out of commission just on 1 inch, bro, out of pocket, bro. I'm joking around, even though he is very annoying, obviously, if you play the game, because some people could not even defeat this man. This man be dusting everybody out of commission, even if they try the hardest, bro. But luckily, I did defeat him within the case of DLC with Sam, Jesse Stram, the Brazilian Samurai Jack himself, and as well within the actual story with Raiden being able to actually beat him with Sam's actual sword as well. I forgot the name of it. But besides that, I hope you guys will enjoy. Get out there, get out there in case of for scaling. Something like Crisis as well. Constant on board. Get told for a big minute. But still, with everything that's being said here, again, to reiterate, is by Crisis. A little bit in some other place alibis of in the case of scaling. Go check him out. Hope you guys will enjoy as always. Let's go get into it. Seth Armstrong. One of the most powerful bosses probably in video games of in the case of difficulty. Wreckinger, that stands for the mightiest means of Spangled Proud America. But in this case, wants to go and plunge the world into war to put together the most strong. For their alphabet means to go and ponder off of it in the means of capitalistic means, social commentary, and basically devote his time to terrorist mercenaries, doing whatever to accompany different means for himself, especially putting together the Sun Group with people like Mistral, Sundowner, just stream Sam after actually defeating him and holding back, slash kind of going all out on him to go ahead and test him to see if he was the most powerful, as different people called him in case of Legends, to see how good he would be like comparison. But either way, Sinister Armstrong is a very tough beast, and besides his normal look, he will form together the best means of these different mercenaries because of the fact, again, to make the world punch into bigger strong, but basically devote time to go and distract someone like Raiden, who's coming after him this entire time, and make the best out of his means to make different things his own type of way. But he knew that he could not defeat Raiden by himself, so he devoted his time to engineering nano machines into his body that would make him into a big ass steroid giant and be on a purge to make the world his own through this. With these nano machines, they would give him a lot of different capabilities. Superhuman strength, very great super strength. His powers would be able to regenerate multiple times through the case of his strength, because obviously being Jack steroided, buffed up, and being 2 times possibly taller, because his general height probably like 6'2". My man is definitely like 6'5". Like, he's a very beefy, big man. Like, in comparison to Ryan, somebody this motherfucker like 6'10" or something. Like, my man's a big boy. But within his strength and company with the regeneration effect that would come into play with these powers as well, he would be able to thumbly time go harder and go ridiculously more powerful more and more. He put together different limitations and differences with evolving his powers as well, because of the factor of him being able to regenerate, go beyond, do multiple different type of things within his regeneration, and fighting Jetstream Sam when his right arm was cut off. Because of him regenerating it and forming it into a blade, he was actually still able to go and stab him in his right arm and crunch him down into the ground, his right arm, with that being said, and split him right for the bone on that. With that visual, he was also able to reattach his arms for integration of the cells that allow him to be able to be a lot more bigly built. And so, with him having these powers and capabilities, he's a very tough, durable foe, and it would take a lot to go ahead and cut through him and really get to the sources. He could instantly regenerate and adapt within his cells, but it really does depend. He also can intermittently heal with this green aura that allows him to heal, and also do matter / kinetic manipulation. He's able to move around technology and overcome it and move a person around with just his normal capabilities and speed. His speed isn't exactly calculable for different accounts, but he was able to scale to someone like Raiden and speed and catch up to him. So I definitely say he's easy, like hypersonic sprint speed. He's definitely fast to over gauging lightning as well. So I wouldn't necessarily take out account his capabilities to be as fast as he could be with all that being put in the case, because of all of his general case speed and how it's like overarchingly. So if we're talking about in comparison to Raiden with his speeds, because if you want to say at a high rank that he's sublisted 5 times the speed of light, maybe Armstrong is near gauge. I wouldn't put him to that gauge. That's the same thing with Sam, but that's like at a high rank. If we want to go by consistency, he would just be easy hypersonic. Like low end is going to be that, but at the same time at a midpoint we can put near light, maybe, just maybe, because like it's not super definedly consistent. Cats mainly if you copy all the scaling from Raiden to that, because Raiden I feel like is a lot more assistable if you wanted to put in a fact that he's actually fast as light, because of how time feels in the game and other encounters and things in comparison to his scaling and the fact that he's actually able to merge lightning from the air and do different type of shit. Like again, that's not a super consistent thing, but it's arguments. And I would even insist that's something that you could actually maybe proxy prove some of these things with Sam. But I would just say for this, because we're going over consistency, that's why I always try to scale evolving the characters and how they like and play, and only give a reasonable argument. Maybe you could put that into play. But I'll just leave it at that, right? That's just my argument. That's how I feel about it. But besides that, pretty much evolving his capability and scaling, his attack power, so attack potency and what he's able to do is smash his big ass robot that he was fighting Raiden with. That Raiden was able to smash with one of his limbs, crush it, doing a town level plus like feat, doing multiple type of things, creating craters in the ground, able to make multiple different magma bolting attacks, able to heat his body up to the point where he's able to boom rock a person with a fiery fist. At the same time, he basically exposed multiple cases of kinetic energy and makes a gamma radiation like form of power to the point where he's able to combat any person with this type of power. And he's super overheating that, again, with one seismic power punch, he's able to completely eradicate someone and their entire being off of this one slim pace of a hit at the same time from that as well. And as well be able to crush the ground and create magma enclosing things to be able to do stuff as that and be exploding bomb at the same time. Like, he has so much compatibility capabilities and versatility. I can go on and on, but he's gonna be a very adaptive and very courageous effect to someone like some things involving his capabilities. Like I forgot the name. Took me very fast with this. There's a lot of different capabilities that come into play, but it's like something in Pacific. What was it? In case of the name, I guess I could just place like this because like I don't want to misinterpret his power, because again a lot of this I'm getting in line involving his wiki and same time Crisis. Shout out to that. But evolving the case for his power with this, because like I said the healing thing, but he's also able to control himself in the nano machine's husk type of shielding / armor over his body, where he gets a little bit 2 times durable on the pack one of his power there. So anytime he's coming with that, which also allows him to regenerate and make his body into different sharpens, like with the form of his right arm getting cut off and actually making a protrusion, this would allow him to be able to spear through somebody. So again, he'll be very courageous on what he does because he has nothing to lose, and he'll be a very forceful infecting point of a power, evolving the case of what someone like Doomfist has in different places of the adapting that someone like Doomfist could have to do. Because if even if Doomfist adapts on one different thing, he has something already up his sleeve, literally and figuratively, and he'll be able to plateau some of these different capabilities on a Doomfist. So in comparison to Doomfist with all of this, to reaccount in conclusion of his stuff, attack power, town plus, city block power, compounded into that, speed, hypersonic, easily, and most importantly, with other capabilities, in this case, scaling and other counter different things, would easily put him at a high margin place of speed and other case stuff as well. But the things that go ahead and wake him up a little bit more, involving his adaptation, him able to build up multiple capabilities, things along that, would definitely put him to easy proxy different capabilities to be at a different margin, and could definitely to an equal stats hyper possibly scale to someone like Doomfist. So it really just depends. But that's it. For Senator Armstrong, he'll definitely be a very tough and impressive case of opponent that could really boulder rock someone like Doomfist if Doomfist gets caught off guard, depending on the case. But it's time to go and talk about Doomfist, the man of conflict and war incarnate himself. Doomfist, Kandu Kundimu, talked about it multiple times, so pretty much simple synopsis. Wants to raise the world into conflict and war because of the fact of him losing his left arm, and this merging him with the ideal that conflict and war is the crucium to which we evolve. The most powerful victors in the world had to be bred, had to be born out of that conflict that made them be something, or forged something out of the case of conflict to make it be the best thing to emerge within the case of what it meant to be strong. As it's the only thing that really mattered to evolve in the case of a warrior. So now Doomfist rages on as a successor, the third Doomfist, leading out talent as a prideful member of the Senate, as a leading authority, pushing the Thurland to a new form of what they need to be. Its talent will be the flame to the emergement of Earth's true evolvement. The conquerors over the conquered, sheep under the wolves. The strong will flourish and the weak will perish. Doomfist, with the gauntlet, has the multiple type of things, scaling to Genji and Tracer, putting Genji on life support, snagging Tracer mid-air, dusting her. She couldn't do shit to this man, barely even phasing this man, and this man easily dispersing her out of her zone and actually putting her on McDonald's connection and making her lag. This man also bombed Winston out the way, dodged a lightning pulse bomb, moved out the way, and Detroit smashed him across blocks, slumped him, hold it up, and tacticianly verted some different punches, most likely, from Winston to even stay up in the actual account of a battle. And at the same time, he underestimated him, so at high potential, Doomfist is second to the strongest person in Overwatch in their lore. He's a villain that's tenacious, a practitioner, knows multiple in case of martial arts, and probably better in a competitive sense, but his competitive sense will be as much like the sense of Hellboy actually being able to open up, and he has to really push on with different capabilities to stack up power to really hurt someone like Armstrong at a higher margin. The fact with his capabilities, he builds his kinetic energy, has electricity, moves very fast with this, can boost around with it, moves at a higher case, evolving power, and gets around when he needs to in different cases. He has great defense, great capabilities, scales to a bunch of other characters lower to the in case of man for margin, evolving in the case of speed, etc. as well. And overarchingly, his power accompanying together in the case of man for speed is a whole different type of thing, especially in that bigger role of power that he has in different cases as well. Pretty much it. And overarchingly, his capabilities are very cool, with him being able to dominate multiple type of people around him that would hold up a little bit better capabilities and versatility or something, as again, he bested Genji and Tracer, and was able to actually hold up something against Winston to defeat himself. Still kind of strong, as I'm saying, in the place of his power in comparison, he put up a lot of different things against him as well. Especially in the account that he could actually level a skyscraper in a few punches, will usually make him his building a level, and compacting together in the case of what he can do in comparison in the place of meteor strike and other different compactment to scaling and other pockets of different things to what he could possibly do. Could probably eradicate an entire city, making him city plus, but from an equal stat perspective, we're going to put him at a more easy, consistent capability, evolving power. But that's not necessarily a thing to be taken into account of possibility, because again, that's a high ball. But the actual precaution of his power to get to that is a reasonable placement. So placing Doomfist as City Plus wouldn't be out of the possibility, but it's saying that possibly it might be a lot better to put him at a consistency of being Town level plus, City block, and a high margin building level, but not full eradicating the whole city. Like my man would have roll up to the UK and bomb London in an entire second. He wouldn't just be a nuke over custom threat, but I do not know. It really just depends on how he plays out his capability. It really just depends how he would go about them at a high state, because of what we do know about him, how we do know his capabilities are like, and other stuff. But again, to restate my statement, it's just a possibility, because the cusp of possibility that he could get to that point isn't unreasonable, it isn't out of pocket. It's not like a thing that could not happen. It's just more realistic, I guess, from a consistent standpoint to stand at that point. But you never know. You never know, because we don't know, because we haven't got bigger point of different things involving the lore and other stuff. So it really just depends on how you would feel about it. Is this a reasonable thing to go and put into play? And yeah, pretty much it. Doomfist, a very cool character, very banging villain for Overwatch, I feel like. Can't wait to see how these two Goliaths come to battle in this case. Let's go and discuss it. How this fight will go out will be very interesting. So, the conversation, which is something I would really like to highlight, just love to hear about their deck, because they have very similar thoughts, the different ways of putting together. Doomfist is doing a pawn off, he wants to actually make it be the living of the world, while someone like Armstrong relishes kind of with the same take of belief to make it be the living, but the foundation of money. He doesn't really care about the actual philosophy of it. It's not about greed to a point of extent, kind of, but more in the assertment of being just so out of pocket. And they're both psychopaths, let's not get it twisted. It's just in the state for how they actually want to do it. There's different reasoning cases for why, and I don't agree with either of them. I don't rationalize the point of view. I can understand why Doomfist wants to beckon it to the actual call of every being and actually make it be the main thing that everybody should hold up, because there's too many weaknesses, and it's where he feels that Omnicrisis was a discernment of something that made the world stronger, but at the same time birthed multiple different things that advanced the world. And so he wants to make a new case of a war that actually will bring out new poles to different actual stronger means for the world in this case. And Sinister Armstrong only does what he does to purge multiple cases of money from the format of what it means to be strong in that type of way in this case. It has nothing to do about the actual means to be stronger in this case. It legit has nothing to do about that in any form. It's legitly just arguably full case greed and out of pocket saneness, But even then, involving their fight, I feel like Armstrong will be cocky as always. Want him to go ahead and attack him and see what he can do. Doomfist would be on the assault probably. Try to fence him out kind of a little bit. Kind of feint him out. Kind of be on some martial arts type of shit. But kind of when I mean fence him out, kind of take away his sense of what he's going to do from a physical sense, and really try to practice how he's actually going to go ahead and do it in this sense. But Doomfist go in and fling at him and give him a Detroit smash, but this will only bounce him a little bit away, like in a kind of ticklish type of way. And Armstrong would say, "Oh, you got man," and then he would actually start bucking him. Wouldn't be in the same form of riding him back to back and not doing shit. He kept rocking him. I definitely think it would bounce Armstrong away, and he would feel it, and then he would actually try to go ahead and rekindle power from that energy and bring out some kinetic energy of his own. So they would both collide within the form of fiery hit. Doomfist run his hit, and it would just be whoever really can override the other person. I feel like the heat would kind of decourse a lot of Doomfist's like power movement a little bit, but he would still give out that raggle power hit. He would still bring out that bound type of hit, you know what I'm saying? It would actually hold up something. So you have to rebound, think about some different things. Rebound? I call it in case, because like you rebound and do not, I don't know why I said rebound. If I said rebound, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But even in the case of his power, to be able to do this and this, he would have to actually think about how it's going to be like, get collected on his capabilities, no pun intended for the music, and start rocking him in a different type of capacity, because overflowing him with the same case of attack is not going to be the same thing. And Doomfist has Brutus' power, but he is very smart. He's solid in case of matter, a strategist in the form of being a tactician, in the form of fun, in the form of combat, you know what I'm saying? So evolving the capabilities of that, I think it'll kind of outplay Senator Armstrong, but Armstrong will have something up his sleeve. So to really open him up, he would have to overflow him with damage and really hit to the center of the heart, because from all accounts, nothing has been shown that Senator Armstrong could heal from getting his head cracked off, decapitated, anything like that. Even though all his place of durability, it'd almost be impossible, and you have to hold up so much ramming capabilities to do that. So in this, I feel like them colliding together will bring a lot. Doomfist can take a lot of different hits, especially in the fact that he hold up a fight against someone like Winston. In other case of people, he'll be on his guard, they'll be fighting, they'll be colliding, they'll be struggling, wrestling, doing all this in-case stuff. And I feel like Doomfist will be opening them up. Armstrong will be overarchingly more stronger in a physical place, kind of. So he'll be able to overroll him with some different case of stuff. And when he gets into his healing form, Doomfist had to think about it. He doesn't know that his back is his weakness, like Raiden would emerge to know. So I feel like if he would come at him, he would be on split instinct and try to do it, but it wouldn't be with a sword. We have to do that, he would really have to go and stop him. I feel like if he keeps doing that and healing back and keep regenerating and adapting in that type of way, he would be able to adapt to the fact that it is that point. But I feel like if he overruns him with too much place of power, he will be able to open him up a little bit more, depending on the case. I don't really know exactly, but I feel like depending on how Doomfist thinks about it and the setup for how he goes about things and racking up efficiency, going in, Black All-Mighting him, and if he does it like in a very weird place way, he won't be able to put in that much cold power that he has already to use. But I feel like if he would try to go after him, go around him, turn coral like how a person does, depending on the case of Seismic Slam, to rack up power on a person with a combination that they don't see. With a big explosive Seismic Slam, he'll be able to bring him down a little bit with that electric jolt, blasting him from the back. But generally, he's not going to do that, so I feel like that's just like an end goal thing. But if he keeps healing, he keeps regenerating, Doomfist will definitely get annoyed, but he can't open him up. So he'll really have to try to make Armstrong pull something out of his ass to open him up to get around. Because Armstrong's going to have a more easier way, but it depends on the role for what Doomfist will play. So it's really going to be a chess game. Who can land the first punch to bring out a better play, or a layout to get the play? You feel what I'm saying? It's basically like a chess run match. Okay, I place this part, you do that part. What can I do against you, or what do I do for you not to be able to do this? A defensive offense clash back to back to back. This is a weird turn sage of multiple different cases of how the person could actually do something, because Doomfist has to place his different capabilities of multi-stacking power on him, and how will Armstrong be able to counter that out, or even Doomfist reforming his field combat to be able to open him up and slay him with a 5-finger punch and be able to actually slap him with that. Because I feel like he'll be able to open up cases during his powers if he goes for the uppercut. Depending on the scenario, Armstrong will be able to slap him with multiple cases of debris, be able to channel the kinetic energy of other devices, throw them at him, try to get around his capabilities, get around his movements, and place some different capabilities there. Doomfist try to open him up, get around, build up some electricity from different cases of punches, and be able to bomb him with his capabilities, kind of like how Raiden or Jetstream Sam do a slice intricate open up on him. So I really think it really depends. I feel like Doomfist is the better planner and practitioner of all in the case of matter of all movement. So possibly, depending on how long the fight will go, it really depends. They both can last very long, I would say. And Doomfist, the more and more he lands up punches, the more and more he puts in some more different case of hits, will hold up a lot. I don't really know how exactly mainly the fight will go exactly, because it really just depends on the place of possibility. I really would like if Dev Battle put together a battle like this, because it would be very interesting to account for how they would actually play and their capabilities. I just think overarchingly, Doomfist has a lot of the tactician capabilities to overrun someone like Armstrong in his general case of possibility and capabilities, but Armstrong has so much defense and rack of versatility and adaptation that's going to be very hard, because Doomfist ain't never faced them like that. He never fought someone legit, a whole statue of big bodiness, big built, you know what I'm saying? Like, this man's nanomachines are corroding his entire body in a dark armor that he has to overrun with power. And I feel like his most powerful boosted boast of a fucking beast hammer hit will possibly stagnate someone like Armstrong, and with this jolt power, crack him, put him on his ass maybe like how Raiden or Sam does, and give him the power to possibly come over and full boulder ram him right then and there in this case. But as well, someone like Doomfist will need to go try to emerge with putting him more on his ass to the point where he can actually either ram his face off, or full with the power in place with all this different kinetic energy case build up, actually bomb him through the chest or something, like, because he needs to do something for he cannot rejuvenate his cells to do that, because you need a lot of spicing type of big vigorous openings to really get Armstrong off the gauge to regenerate our nanomachines to dial down on their progressive cell regeneration. So Doomfist, with one big build-up boulder and hit, mixed together with another case of Detroit smashing and slaying and bop bop booming, will hold up. But if he doesn't play the cards right, Armstrong can grab him, floor him, do some other stuff. If he tries to punch him with his left, I think Armstrong will easily just rip fucking his left arm right off. It won't even be an argument, because obviously Doomfist's left arm is a prosthetic. So it wouldn't necessarily hold him too much back, but the shotgun shells ain't gonna do shit. They're not gonna pierce skin. It's gonna pick right off of him each time they even try to land. It doesn't even matter. Doomfist is not even gonna have that much case of a problem. It doesn't matter. He's gonna wreck shop his ass each time he even tries to go ahead and do that. So Doomfist even let that happen. I'm gonna hold that much. Obviously, his actual real weapon is gonna be his right hand, but in combination, in some cases, with his left hand to do some other stuff, maybe that could hold up something. I definitely think like Doomfist like hitting him and he was out of cage how he could do stuff. He could slap him up just a little bit, just a tiny bit. But it wouldn't actually do anything because, one, Armstrong's way too durable. If you would shoot him with a shotgun knuckle shells, they would just pop off of him. They would twiggle. They wouldn't do anything. It would just legit be a little pick slip on him, and it would be a toy to him. Armstrong would be like, what the fuck are you doing? This doesn't make no difference in the fight. I'm going to kill you either way. Stop trying. Like, actually, stop trying. I'm going to kill you. Simple as that. But when Doomfist tries to go ahead and start rolling up on him, and not dying when he tries to go ahead and go for all that, I definitely think there's a possibility he will be able to hold up something a little bit more, depending on how he goes about some things in this case. But I do not know, because overarchingly, Doomfist has the capabilities to open Armstrong more up than any other person to build up a capacity of health in this case. And also at the same time, his bouldering power, because obviously when he punches more people, he'll be able to hold up a little bit more, and he'll just be able to regen, realistically go by game sense, the senses of his actual health in a sense, but as well, his overarching buildable power would be a lot too much and would be a brothel, so much stuff. And at the same time, again, his strategic state of mind, in this case, to be able to see about how it corrodes his body and where he has to right and do it. It was kind of scruffling back to back, rocking right, left, orthodox type of capabilities to line up a power hit. In this case, I think Doomfist likes Sam, not in the same way Sam does, to slip by, cut off another side, and do something else, would be able to break apart his combination setup that Armstrong might do in the case of him using corrode to back off in defense in cases to hit him. And the whole sharpen thing wouldn't matter unless he actually did that, but I don't see him doing that unless he crocked off one of his arms with his arm in this case, which I don't even see how that wouldn't go. Because first of all, obviously not like a croc, like Killer Croc, to swap it off, but if he would just hit something so hard he would blow it off, maybe with him correlating his healing factor into this case to actually make it be something else, so it wouldn't necessarily be like that. So in this case, when he would throw it out, it would be something a whole different way to be able to get it off. So I really just think Doomfist, with the build up and not blowing off any of his parts and really just overflowing him back to back and railing on him, just mink, if he gets it, could possibly pose so much power to crock his whole head off right in this mud. His straight up decapitation explosion. He built up all this power fist, one punch man, Shoryuken rising fist, blams his head off right then and there, even to another case, holding up so much power and build up from pulsating the power from back-to-back kinetic bombing on him, back-to-back with the fire, other roll of different case stuff that someone like Armstrong could give to him. He would be able to bring out all that form of power to be able to easily break through it and crunch right through his body with the fist, like how Doomfist realistically punch through someone like Roadhog and make him a pigsty out the smug, something like that. Possibly Armstrong's capability to possibly win would have to really outmaneuver that or overflow Doomfist, but I don't think him super overpowering him will be too much, because really their strength is an equal case of capacity. Doomfist is able to dome a bunch of different people that should be way more capability for him in the case of man for speed, other capabilities. He has great capabilities and strength. He's a great protagonist involved in this case, involved in the battle against him in this case, to really do as much as any person else could give him possibly for what he can do. And so involving the capabilities that he could actually bring out would be someone like Mike Tyson having to overflow someone Muhammad Ali so he can't move and dodge and do whatever. I just feel like his speed overarchingly is a lot more better than what he could possibly do. So I don't really know. I don't really get how someone like Armstrong could do this, because again, to reiterate when I say this, if Doomfist doesn't allow him to hold up more capabilities and proxy building up that higher puts damage and cracks off his arm and ragdolls him multiple times to put him on his ass or do something. He'll replace him, and eventually with a crushing right arm, he cocks his head off. That's how I feel about it. I don't know about y'all. I love y'all. I hope you guys have enjoyed. Again, there's maybe a possibility, but I feel like overarchingly with the right clock of his arm, he just correlates with too much power that he bodies him, and he can't rejuvenate or reinsert their capability, his versatility, because Doomfist will be too much. And I feel like his bowling power will be a lot too much for him to do so. And I'm not trying to be biased because I like both of them. And when I say Case Math would be a great protagonist to be put against him in this case, of holding account his power, that's both being cool antagonists in their own right, he would have too much Case Man for overall Case power to actually be defeated. So, in conclusion, Doomfist will lose if he doesn't play smart, but I feel like he will at a strong side, and he will best someone like Armstrong. That's how I feel. I don't know about y'all. Like I said before, tell me what y'all think in the comments. As always tell me what y'all think. Always gonna go hear your opinion. If you disagree with me, that's fine. If you want to have a discussion about it, cool. Don't need to, because simply place pointing at everything I said. Again, check out Crisis for a little better Case Math for scaling for Armstrong, I guess, if you want, and other case stuff. I love y'all. I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. Peace out, my army. Love y'all.